Sample. It's not getting any better.
Sample.
Look like eyes hanging out of the head.
Great. Okay, so here I am with Kristie Klein. This is an Earthworm Woman episode, but it's also coming under the umbrella of Raw Women. And Raw Women's all about women who are remarkable, authentic, and worthy women. I'm very interested in promoting women who are doing their own thing, and really, whatever that is, creating their own businesses, living to the beat of their own drum. And Kristie has an incredibly beautiful fashion magazine that she started. Tell us about your magazine.
Yes, I started LSD 7 years ago. I decided to create a platform for emerging and established talent that was out of Australia, because there wasn't really any independent magazines that were explorative and experimental, and created that space for Australians on the global stage. So that's what we've done, and then we've worked on it for the last 7 years and got to a place where we've landed a distributor in Paris.
Wow, that's fantastic. So that's where you are now, and you've been slowly building it. Can you tell us a bit about that journey? Has it been easy? Has it been, were there times when you thought, oh, this is too difficult, or was it just flowed?
No, I think every single issue is like, well, this will be the last one.
Oh, really?
So we're at 12 now. Having said that, now we've got a lot more momentum, I think. It's definitely more exciting. It's given us a new lease, and I've got a new creative director that's come on the last few issues with me, and so she's very experienced, so we're taking it a lot further.
But you've got a background in... Have you got a background in fashion? Or?
I've got a background as a stylist. I've worked as a stylist for probably, I said 8 years before, but it's like 10, 12 years. Mm-hmm. And doing freelance styling, doing campaigns in fashion, like lookbooks and TV and different types of styling that I've done.
What do you think about the fashion industry in Australia? Do you think it's broad, experimental?
No, I find it really boring. And Kmart's on the runway, so that explains it all.
Serious.
Yeah, I just feel like Australia is consumer-led rather than designer-led. So, in Europe, the designers lead the way, and they're innovative and experimental, etc., and consumer follows. But here, it's the other way around. It's all about the consumer, so it's very much fast fashion.
I hate to always put countries down, but I find that in a lot of things in Australia, like in the arts. Maybe not so much music, but definitely in television and things like that, or films. It's like there's no confidence just to be okay. Well, I'm going to be whatever. They did it. We'll do it like them, or and that's
very safe.
The beauty, very safe. Yeah, that's the beauty of what you're doing, because you're doing something very unique. And stylish, and doing it your own way, not just doing it because I saw something, and that's obviously what LSD it stands for.
Yeah,
original.
Definitely. Like we always say, it's an experimental playground for creatives to tell their story or express themselves without the constraints of currently advertising that would generally control a lot more of that. And so
are you finding in shops, places where you want to distribute it to, are they open to it, or?
Always. There's a space for it, definitely, because Australia doesn't have that much it's just more a brand. I guess a brand thing is like finding the lines between not being commercial and still being experimental.
Yeah, not being extreme. So it's like something that nobody
Like
would buy.
making money or
Yeah.
versus not.
Yeah.
Which is what I've kind of, so I've stuck to the artistic side of it rather than the money making side of it as a long game.
Yeah. Well, that's all you have to be, I think. I think you can't really be led with money.
Yeah.
It has to be. So this is take 2. We've done a whole thing, so we can go back what we talked about before, which was about being true to yourself, and it has to come from you, from what you want it to be, rather than I'm going to do this because I think it might work.
Yeah, exactly. I find. You need to, like, we were saying, you need to be passionate about something, but also, which is the truth, because obviously there's times where you just want to not do it, and that's the only bit that'll get you through.
If you have a block, maybe?
Yeah.
On what? So if you've got a whole 200 pages, how many different shoots do you have to do within that?
So that's 10 to 12 shoots that we do. We produce all of them, the 2 of us. And create the concepts, and then we put together the teams, we cast the right people for the right briefs to then create what we, I guess, magic. And what we try to do is really, like I was saying before, is mix teams, so people that you would be unlikely to work together, which is kind of cool, because like even, we're talking about a few people in Paris recently saying, we're so happy we got to work with so-and-so because we wouldn't normally, because the teams stick together. And they shoot the same stuff all the time, but we want them to shoot. We want it to look different. Yeah. And you enter different people in the mix, and they bring their styles in, and it does look different. And if you choose the right people for your brief, it's always going to be, elevate it and be next level. So that's kind of what we do. We always push the boundary and change things and keep them interesting and innovative and experimental, even with our design. Like I was saying, in the last issue we had transparent paper. It was beautiful. Example. You can see through. So we'd have.
So it's like you said. It's more. It's like a coffee table book.
Yeah.
There's no advertising in there. There's no. It's just all art.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Very artistic.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very.
So so just going back a bit, so you started with the idea at the beginning of like 2020, whatever it was, but you had a different life before that, didn't you? Or you've always been a stylist, but what were you? You were a flight attendant?
A flight attendant.
Which
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Wow, you must have seen some interesting things. As a flight attendant.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah.
And kept it interesting. Which is spontaneous.
I mean, most people when they go on airplanes, you don't see much. It's just pretty boring. People just do the same thing. But I guess 2 or 3 flights a day or whatever you'd be doing.
When I was domestic, I was doing 4 flights a day.
Wow.
And then international, just 1 leg to LA or stay overnight or 2 nights and come back. But I was in LA probably twice a month, 3 times a month sometimes.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That mess around your whole head? 'Cause that's what
it
I
did.
can't really
To start with, when I first started doing it, yes, and then I just got used to it, and it becomes your reality. And then it's like anything, and you adapt so quickly as humans. We adapt, like I was in Africa, years ago when I was younger, in an orphanage for like 8 weeks doing some work.
Wow.
And I spent that time there, and we didn't have phones or absolutely anything. We're in the middle of nowhere with no showers or anything, And then I adapted to that within
what were you doing?
3 days.
Just helping in an orphanage. Wow.
Yeah. And then, I got back onto a flight, came back and was a flight attendant again. And then I was listening to people whinge about their cheese and crackers that they didn't get. And I was just different worlds. But then I adapted back to this life in about 2 minutes, I was back again. I forgot about that. So you just adapt,
But so you sound like someone who likes to jump in and try things.
Yes, I do.
Like change and like I'm very much like that as well. If I'm doing the same thing, I've never done a normal job, which is actually that's not putting down people that have, but you know,
like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because it's very routine and.
Yeah, it's when you've got ideas, when you're a creative person. I mean, don't have to be obviously, but I think it would be very hard because you're always thinking, okay, I do obviously you do the same, like different hours, work different hours, and always trying to work out the next step of whatever you're doing.
It's just ideas constantly. I mean, it's my favourite thing to do though, is coming up with ideas. So, you know, I'm always coming up with business ideas for people or any sort of ideas for anything really.
Business ideas.
Yeah, I've always got business ideas and coming up with those.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Just very entrepreneurial. And
That's great.
Yeah, very.
So, did you start young?
Too many ideas.
When your working life, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I was always working. I got out of school really young. Didn't complete school. I hated school.
Right.
I even hated art apparently, which is weird because then I've gone on to paint and exhibit and do all sorts of stuff like that.
Well, maybe it was too constricting or whatever.
Yeah, like I think they just told you what you were doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't explorative or experimental. Yeah, and it was just too many rules at school for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you left school and went.
Perth. Yeah.
Did you go into an art school or something, or?
No, I mean I did. I got a scholarship at a music school and an art school or something like that. I was the opportunity to go to both, and I didn't do either. I wanted to go with my friends. That was the zone I was in. I didn't want to go overseas because I wanted to be with my friends. I didn't want to leave anyone. It was weird. Yeah, I was just about my, having a good time and.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's normal-ish, isn't it? And that's the thing I don't put too much on kids to, you've got to do all the school, then you've got to go to uni supposedly, or go somewhere else, otherwise you're not really doing anything with your life. But I think you've got to have time for your brain to actually know and find a way forward. Yeah. My schooling was different, but
it's a part of the journey as well, doing different things and trying different things, meeting different people, conversations you have, like all sorts of things add to what you end up wanting to do. But innately, I think I've come back to like in that marketing, comms kind of creating, advertising and stuff like that is very much marketing space, which is when I was young, probably what I wanted to do. When I think about it, when I was at school, that was probably the one thing I did like and want to do. But I never did, and I've come back around and just done it.
Yeah, you probably did.
Naturally.
Was it an option, school? No, probably wasn't.
I mean, I never thought of a magazine, but it was more like, marketing was. It was just it was like if you went to, I guess, TAFE or whatever, it was. But I just didn't want to sit through school. I just didn't want to do that.
I do wonder how many people have that. So I'm going to go. Have that I'm going to start a magazine, because most things these days people just think of something online or actually taking the guts to go, no, I'm going to go and do a printed magazine is I think that's fabulous. Did you feel like it was maybe taking a bit of a risk when you started that?
I mean, I was fumbling my way through something I had no idea what I was doing.
But you must.
This would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my friends actually, who was in branding for like 20 years, he said to me, "You need like a media outlet or something to put your work." Was how we kind of started talking about this. And he said, either start a blog or do a magazine or etc. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing a blog. Yeah. That was a bit lame for me. I was like, oh, there's too many blogs. I would do a magazine. It sounds a bit more fabulous. Yeah. The next minute, that's what I'm doing. And then another friend said to me, right, you need a production assistant. And then the next day I had someone contact me and say, oh, do you need any help with what you're doing?
Fantastic.
And then I met Hannah, who became my art director, who's now at Stella McCartney.
That's the one with Stella McCartney.
Yeah, so she's now in London and left the bag to go to London and pursue a career in art direction for Stella.
Oh, fantastic.
She's doing really well.
Where do you see yourself going with this actually? If you really want, if you had like, I really want to get here with it. I mean, pretty much done it anyway.
I mean, I just want to. I guess I want it to. I don't know. It's at that point where it's gonna all of a sudden not be this small thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's been, so it's going to be completely different, and I don't know what that looks like, to be honest. But I know what I want my life to look like outside of the magazine.
Yeah.
So my fabulous life. So I've definitely envisioned that where I'll be as far as Europe or living at some point over there or part of it there.
Are you part German?
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not. No.
Just say yes.
Yes.
But no, I mean this is the thing, isn't it? I think if you have a vision or even aspirations, that's the only way to make things happen. Like with the Earthworm Women, that just the word came to me on the beach, and I thought, that's me. I get up and I start again. I get knocked down or things don't work. Get up and try and put yourself back together and determined.
I've got this ridiculous. Sorry, I just cut you off.
No.
I've got this ridiculous. What you were just saying. Ridiculous inner strength. That's like, no matter what.
Same.
I'm gonna get self-succession in this lifetime for me is definitely my number one priority, and anything that gets in the way is like to the side. It is. I'm so determined.
Because if things come in, if you attract them, when you're focused, then that's what you're supposed to be then. Because not like you're actually pushing something aside that's good.
Yeah.
You'd know if there's a good thing that came along.
Yeah,
you'd
absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm very open to like I was saying, connections and relationships and people that are aligned to me and is authentic and it reflects in the magazine because all of our teams that we have, everyone, like even Lucy, who's been on board the last few, she's like, what I've noticed, the people that we attract and that shoot for us, they're very talented, but they're very humble and they're very and I think genuinely, like that's me, and that's how I am, and that's how I want to the people that I want to be around, and whether that's in profession or in personal, like it's authentic, real people, like everyone's the same type thing.
And you're just you attract what you put out as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're putting out a focus. This is where I want to go. This is where I'm going with it. And opening up in Europe, I'm sure that would open up to other.
Oh yeah. Well, it's going to Europe and America, so that's where they're distributing.
Are you going over?
I'm probably going to go there in November, pending a few things.
Yeah.
Pending a passport, which has expired since being a flight attendant. You have to put it together at the very last minute. Pending if a few things come together, I might go there in November when the book fair's on. We're launching it in Paris when the book fair's on. Because it's Fashion Week right now, but we thought we'd do it. The book fair's a bit nicer.
So do you get involved in the fashion, is it Spring Fashion Week or something here?
To be honest, not really. I just find that Australians are a gatekeeper with all their, I guess, industries and etc. And they're like that very much in the fashion world. And so I find that Fashion Week is just a little bit lame, and it just stays the same because they keep the same people on, like unlike what we do, and mixing our teams and freshening things up and keeping it, looking innovative. It's just
a fear of that actually going a little bit outside of your comfort zone or what you know you can do. Like life is it's for failing, it's for taking risks.
Australia doesn't really take risks, so no offense. It's true.
Well, the thing, if more and more people did, then it would be a bit more of a dynamic country. I don't know why there's something holding it back here, because I have to say, even New Zealand seems to some things I don't know much about. but as far as films, often I find New Zealand films, not so much recently, but more interesting. But
and I mean, look, like, you know, Hannah also director that went overseas and works for Stella. She came back recently and she said, "Oh wow, I really look back now to what you've created and this culture, and that wasn't there in Melbourne before in fashion." She's like, "It's really actually amazing." And I was like, "Oh wow," like, because I guess when you're in it, you're like, "Oh yeah, like it's cool," but you don't realise how many people are actually, I guess, following the magazine or have been from the start.
Okay, because
until you get out there,
probably wanting something different.
Yeah.
You know, it actually is, and that's what you're doing. People maybe don't realise it until they see it.
Yeah.
You know?
And we've been doing a couple of creative panels. So we did that in the last issue where we had one in Melbourne and Sydney where we put our teams on the panel and we talked about how we created the magazine and the different shoots in there and how we concepted it, and we had the set designer and the stylist and like a photographer, and they discussed how it came together. And so it was.
And where was that? Was that
we did one in Melbourne.
Live.
We did shoot it, but it wasn't live. No, it was in Melbourne and Sydney in a creative space, and we had people come and watch it.
Oh, okay.
And so we had a lot of people coming that we didn't realise even followed the magazine.
Yeah.
You know, just you're like, oh wow.
So industry.
Industry people.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so we thought we might want to continue that and do some creative conversation dinners, and we could shoot them and film them and make them and have them live or
something different.
Like interesting.
That's it.
And like a round table but over dinner.
I haven't actually seen the physical copy, had a look at it yet, but when I've looked at your images online and everything, I think there's something really, really different about what you do, and it's, like I said, the quirky, it's like slightly quirky but really arty, and it's got all the elements that you want in something, and it gives you, not just like you brush over it, you actually want to look at it. So that's...
Yeah.
Managed to get something really I don't.
Yeah, it's got the bold. I think it's quite bold in its colours and like I said, we're very focused on storytelling. So and I feel like that's where we've got a really strong point of view.
So when you're actually doing the shoots, you sometimes change the story a little bit or add stuff in and find different things.
Yeah.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Different, we keep it interesting.
And creative.
Yeah, absolutely. What else?
So tell me about life in general for you then. Obviously that's really exciting. How do you keep focused on something which, everything's, we're being told to look online, we're told to be fearful of the chaos and everything. How do you keep yourself forward? Is that just because it's your personality?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm not, but I'm pretty good at snapping myself out of. I can get it,
You don't get bogged down.
I don't get bogged down by things. No, if something's happened, I'm very solution based. I'm like, right, where's the solution? I might crap it to myself for 5 minutes, but I get over it really quickly, and or wake up and it's a new day, or I don't hop on.
I mean, you're obviously strong, very strong, because this is your idea, isn't it? You pretty much
I just started that.
And you were doing an agency before. Was that also your idea?
When I did the talent, I was just discussing talent. I did create. Yes, I saw a gap in the market. There was an agency that closed, and all their models were on the loose, so to speak.
Okay.
They were like a herd of the sheep. No, a couple of them said to me, you should do it. Yeah. Because I am a bit, I guess, nurturing and a bit mother-like sometimes. Minus having children. But I was like looking after them, and I was always like that on set and in productions. I was looking after the talent. And so, they wanted me. They thought that I would be able to do it. So I gave it a shot, gave it a red hot go. It was good. I did all right, but I just didn't really have the drive to look after 40 talent and have the responsibility of having to find me work was
That's a
like,
huge thing.
it's a whole thing. And because I had the magazine as well, like really my heart lies there, and my heart lies in creating content and creating, you know, campaigns and ideas, as opposed to like logistical looking after talent and booking, you know, working from a computer and booking things
exactly.
and
That's
shooting just a headshot or something. Like
it's not creative. Anyone's a creative person. Yeah,
feels a bit nothing.
Yeah,
like I need the connection. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you could probably like take them from a young age and do that kind of build with them, which is what IMG. You know, they'll get them at 14 and release them at like 18. They'll train them for 4 years. Work on their portfolio and safety overseas and all the stuff that they do with them, and then they release them in the wild.
Yeah, well, it's giving a lot of attention to other things. If you couldn't really do both, because it would be really consuming. I often think of other ideas I could do alongside. You know, I've already got two things. Like this whole podcasty situation, which is like small documentaries, and then the whole theatre stuff as well. So that's enough. If you go and do. You just do other things for money as well.
You just spread yourself thin. Yeah. And then you never kind of. I mean, it's unless you're going to keep it as a cool project, which is fine. But if you actually want something to grow and get bigger, you really need to put your focus into one. So I think when I did that, I kind of the mag all of a sudden had more of a life, and the more energy I put into it,
there we go. Yeah.
The bigger it grows. So.
Do you get inspired by this beachside area that we live in? Because I find there's... Because I write poems sometimes. Okay. I write poems and I just see characters, lots of characters. And I know there's a lot of dodginess around here. But,
I just find it's a bit feral for me now. Yeah, like I've been in St Kilda for like 15 years or over 15 years, but I feel like I'd prefer to probably live in the hills, to be honest, like Dandenongs or something like that. Like I just feel like it's a bit dingy here now.
Oh, it's getting much more.
Yeah, and it's just the energy feels quite low. And I lived here because, you know, you're on the water. I do come from the coast. I'm from Perth. Yeah. So, you know, the energy always flows a lot more, but it doesn't feel like it is. It feels stagnant.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy energy, I have to say, yeah. But, and I can understand that. It's just being, I guess for different reasons, stay somewhere, don't you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've moved to this beautiful house, which is definitely giving me new life. And I love it here. So I'll be here for a little bit longer, but I'll definitely, I don't know.
So it doesn't give you any inspiration on any of your campaigns or anything? You don't sort of... It
definitely does here now that I've moved. Yeah, the change. I needed the change and a bigger place and a space. There's a lot of space and a lot of light in here, which I need.
Oh, in here?
Yeah, sorry, in here.
Inspiration,
yeah.
But,
you mean St Kilda in general?
Just areas of people and, you know.
If I'm going to get inspiration, I'd go to like NGV and spend a day there, or I go to different art modalities, or I go and watch some art house films, or do things like different mediums or different types of art.
Yeah, I was going to say, could you describe what you do? Could you describe what they are? But no, not really. What each campaign is.
Each shoot. So these are like in the issue is like 10 to 12 editorials. We create the theme of the magazine first. So this theme for the last one was Control Alt Delete. The next one is laissez-faire, which is about having a spirit and an attitude.
Okay, so that's
a freedom, which is what laissez-faire is. So we're setting like LSD free. So we're kind of creating like a theme based on where we're at, and we explore that and where we want to go.
That's a very unusual idea, to have each one a theme.
Yeah, there's themes, which is what most magazines do. They have a theme and they send out and people pitch concepts for it. It is fairly standard.
Yeah.
And then we create concepts within that about, like under that whole branch of theme or umbrella.
And how do you? Oh, sorry.
And then so like our next issue, for example, is like around superstition. So we talked about that, and then we're moving on to another one after that we've already developed. So for the next 2 issues, we've kind of started working on already. The next one's superstition. So we were going to use that as like a manifesting. So I'm going to put things into concepts that I want, and then people shoot the concept. So we look back and we go, oh, that happened or that happened. You know, like I'm going to create. So it's almost like a whole move, like a vision board within a magazine.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's not, I think it's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when it's about to take off. So you're documenting that, like, because we're going to actually film it as start filming it as a documentary from now on, but the behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
And start shooting different stuff, and us even on Zoom when we're creating it from Paris to here, and we're like going over our layouts, and we're going to start shooting all those behind the scenes.
Because you look artistic. Well, obviously you have to be, but you know, I think you need to do this. You can't. You need to do that, absolutely. And how does it support itself?
Well, me.
Because at the moment,
don't eat. Do I look like I eat? No.
Because you don't do the advertising through it. There's no ads.
There's no ads there at the moment. No, because we were working towards, like I was saying before, is not having fashion brands necessarily in as advertisers, because they take over the visuals of the magazine. So then it will end up being advertorials. Yeah. So currently there's editorials, which is what we create. Then it becomes advertorial, so it's paid for space, and then they, you know, select their outfits they might want in there, or etc. So then it doesn't become the stylist picking in there and creating for the story that we've created. It now becomes an advert. So we didn't want to dilute the magazine and the visuals and the experimental place it is, because at the moment we've got people wanting to shoot for us, like, you know, we've got the editor of Vogue who just shot for us and styled it. She styled something in Paris. She's from Australia, but she flew from London to Paris to shoot with my creative director, and then they created a cool concept and did that, and for the next issue, and then she comes back and she's the big editor of Vogue here, and then we have, you know, had other people reach out from other magazines, like Meg Grant's here, and saying would they like to shoot for us, like, because it's an experimental space for them to be creative, which they lose, and probably why they do it in the first place, but you lose in that commercial space a bit. You lose the storytelling and the artistic side of it. So with us, we've maintained that, and we'll continue to maintain that through, you know, I've started a creative agency with the LSD team, so then the teams that we shoot with, we can pitch for work and campaigns and concepts that we create, and we will get a brand and potentially shoot their campaign, like paid advertising or paid media, and it might not be necessarily advertising in our magazine, or they might choose to advertise in our magazine, or it might be just like, you know, paid campaigns through socials, billboards, whatever it is. And then so we create the concepts and pitch them as what we're doing. So we become, because we're good at making obviously a magazine and design, and so we become a bit of a creative agency design studio, and that will be the clients, and then we can work with our teams, and then, you know, then the magazine, I guess, becomes your platform business card portfolio situation, which is kind of what it is, and it gets spread globally that way.
We'll take some photos and things and show, because you got to see it to actually feel it, you know. Yeah,
especially the thick GSM.
So is anything else? How your life's got to here, and where you see it going?
I mean,
we don't know where our life's going, but you're the instigator. You're the leader of your own. You know what you're doing at the moment.
I mean, I think I said before, I feel like I know where my actual life is going, and I've always thought, like, in this lifetime, number one thing is self-succession for me. Like, that's I'm getting it there.
Yeah, good.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. Like, I would pick it, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get it.
Yeah, has it always been like that?
And that's why I feel like it was like a child. I feel like from maybe as a child being like, oh, who's going to pay? My mum, mum said a few things like, who's going to pay to do that? Or, like I'd say I was going to do styling. She's like, what? Who's going to pay you to put clothes on people? Like she didn't really get it.
Were you an only
and
child?
She just couldn't. I'm an only child, yeah. And so I think she said a few times, things that.
So your mum used to say.
And my mum, not that she wasn't a good supportive, mum, but like there's obviously things that people, things that stick with you that they say. Sometimes they say, like. And one would have been, or it might have been my mum, I'm not sure, but like just constantly saying little things like, oh, who's going to pay you to do that, or how are you going to do, like, no one, just stick to your basic job kind of thing. Don't take risks. Oh. And so being an only child and being a bit of an instigator or a bit of a antagonising kind of, agitator, I guess, is like
activist, whatever.
Going against the grain a little bit. Being independent, being on my own, doing it my way.
I've got 2 kids and they don't do what the parents say. Or they if the parents says, why you do this, they'll go that way.
Always.
Which is fine.
It's always what I do.
I'm sure I did the same.
I always did it. And so that stuck with me, and I was like, for some reason I was just like, well, watch me. I'll make that happen.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mark my words, I'll make it happen. Yeah. So I was and I was just, my inner strength is
I think that's
second to none.
Is it also going by your intuition and listening to what you feel is the right?
Yeah, I'm very intuitive. I'm very intuitive, and if I'm say that is, I know that that's going to happen, or I know that is right, then I know, and I would rarely be wrong. So I'm just kind of like, and and I mean, I'm okay to be wrong as well. Like if you take yourself down the path, and it's always a lesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
You learn heaps of stuff from things that you do, and like I fuck up all the time.
You've taken a risk.
Yeah.
You've actually.
I definitely think the more you take, it's the easier it is, and it's not a big deal anymore. And then, years ago, it's like when you're younger, like 30 grand is a lot of money years ago when you're young, but like then you get older and you do things and you work with that kind of different levels and capacities, and you just realise that like, oh, it's not really a big deal.
That's nothing.
Oh well.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just nothing to me now.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like what's the word for it? Where you put to your perception and like for me, failing, it's not really a fail. It's like, oh well, whatever.
It can't be. You can't fail if you try. If you don't try, that's almost a fail. But actually,
yeah, absolutely.
Putting yourself out into something and going, okay, well, I really think it's going to work. I'm going to give it a go. And if it doesn't work, okay, well, something's wrong.
Yeah.
What it's supposed to be, or wrong timing, or something, whatever. But,
totally.
If you don't try, you don't.
Yeah, just do it.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, except sometimes I think I don't normally stick at things as long as I've stuck at this for, and I think it's just because it's been something I could keep interesting and keep creating and keep looking different, innovative, changing teams, changing people. Like there's a lot of change in there, and I can create change in there, so it doesn't get boring.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I just get bored.
Change is good.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks so much for talking.